here is the demo of the complete system. So if we have person have account, person can be able to log in successfully. So now we have to create an account. So just click on sign up. We can make use of this sign up page to create an account. So for example, here we want to use, let's say, this name. Then we are going to create email. So we have something like this. Let's say we do this, then we'll put @sign, then we'll just leave it the way it is. Then we'll now put all this a rampant password. So now click on register. So you can see here we have to put a valid email. So to put a valid email, let's use something like this, gmail.com. So saminu@gmail.com. So if I click on register, you can see the system will detect and tell us that the password field does not match. So the password field must match. So if I put something like 12345, then 12345, I'll click on register. You can see it says that the password field must be at least 8 characters. All right, so this is a very good validation. So now the password we use 123456789. And here also 123456789. So after we do this, then we'll now register. Yes, so we have successfully registered. So now next thing to do is we are going to log in. So now we are going to log in. So let's assume we want to use a rampant email that we don't have in our account. So the moment you just put this, you click on login. So the login page also have its own validation. You can see these credentials do not match. So now let us use our email, which is saminu@gmail.com. Then the password we use 123456789. So click on login to log in. Yes, so you can see we are able to log in. This is the name. All right, so now we can click on this. We click on profile. So this will take us to where we can be able to update our profile. So we can click on this to select an image that we want to use. So I'll select something like this, then click on OK. So now this is the name. Here we have the phone number. We can use anything as phone number. We click on save. So the moment we click on save, now we can see our name, our picture is displaying. Then here also the user picture is displaying. So that is it. So after we do this, next we can now go to apply for loan. So here we can be able to apply for loan. Then we also have admin section. So this admin section is different from this. So this is admin section. All right, so this admin section here, when we click on all users, you can see we can be able to see users. This is the admin user, this is the regular user, then this is the user that just logged in now. All right, so with this you can be able to change the user to admin. You can also be able to change the user to user. For example, the way it is, if I want to change this user to admin, I'll just click on this like this. You can see it's loading. It shows congrats, user role updated successfully. So to confirm that, you can just click on view details. You can see this user is admin. From here, admin can also change the status back to either active or not active. All right, so let's go back to the users, all users. So now let's change this user back to user. You can see user role is changed, and here is also changed. This is very cool. Then after that, you can be able to delete user. When we click on delete like this, you can see we have a sweet alert. So it will tell us whether we want to confirm. When we say cancel, it is not going to be deleted. If we click on delete, then we click on yes delete. So you can see this user has been deleted, and it is showing us this very beautiful toast. All right, so that is it. So now let's go back to the user channel, user section. So user can be able to apply for loan. So this is the form. So let us, here we are expecting to add the amount. So when we put something like 1,000 or 100,000, this is 100,000. Then the bank that the user is using, we put something like Express Bank. That's the name of the bank, Express Bank. then we have the account number. So the account number, we can put 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 0. Then we select the type of the bank, the loan. So this type of the loan is dynamic from the admin. The admin can be able to add loan. For example, here when we come to the admin section, here you can see manage loan type. When we click on view loan types, these are all the loan types. So if admin want, we can add another loan type. We can say car loan type. So click on submit. Admin add automatically. You can see loan type registered and the car loan type is added here. So if user come to his own channel here, when we refresh this page, you click on this, you can see the new loan type is there. All right, so that is very cool. Here user can just add the amount. We have something like 100,000. Then here we have the bank. We can use any bank, American Express. Then here we can put the account number 987, just any rampant number. We can select the loan type. We can say car loan type. Then the installment, that is how many times the user want to be paying. We can put something like 5 times. The moment you put installment 5 times, you can see it will automatically add 10% interest in the loan. Then it will now calculate the installment amount, which is this total amount with the loan divided by 5. All right, so this is the total amount with the interest, then divide by 5 installment, which will give you the installment amount. All right, so on doing this, the moment user click on submit to submit this loan application, you can see loan applied successfully. So now from the admin section, admin can be able to view and know the type of the loan that comes in. So when we click on view here, you can see we have loan application, loan types, then we also have view loan applications. So the moment I begin to click on this, you can see the loan application that was recently submitted, which is not approved. So only the loan that is not approved that admin can be able to see. When you click on view, you can see the loan here. This is the person that applied for the loan. Then this is the details of the loan. The admin can click on this to change the status of the loan. You can see loan updated successfully and the loan is approved. Then transfer is going to be made. So here you can view loan. You can see admin cannot be able to see this. So all the have many other features below this. Then apart from this, I did not show you when you come as the user, as the normal user, or you want to log in. Let's assume I click on this. We click on here, we click on log out. All right, you can click on password. When you click on password, you can see user can be able to change password. For example, when I type wrong password here, I type something different. This have validation. You can see password is incorrect and password field confirmation does not match. So this is very cool. So now let's assume I click on this to log out. So when I click on log out to go, I forget password. The moment I click on forget password, this is going to take us to forget password field. So here, let's assume the name of our email is, the email we are using is, we can call it the name of the email, a registered email, have saminu@gmail.com. So click on send reset. All right, so the moment you send reset, we already say I show you how you learn how to add up SMTP and set it up inside your program. All right, so the moment you can see we have emailed your password. So the password is emailed into. So this project have so many features inside. So because of the time, I cannot be able to explain everything. So when you purchase this course, you are going to learn a lot, and you are free to ask as many questions as possible. All right, so see you in the inside the course. Here I will show you the pages and components that we are going to use in this project. That is, I have zipped it already, so this is going to be attached to this video. All you just need to do is you just right click on it and you now extract it. All right, so when it finish extracting, so any function or any component that you need is there already assigned inside. So all right, so this is it. The moment you extract it, this is the page here. Here we have all the content. All right, so this is it. So all these components, they are there in use. So make sure you extract it, and after that you follow it one after the other. If you have any question, any problem, try to ask throughout the course. See you deeply in the course. In this lecture, we are going to learn how you install Laravel together with Tailwind CSS. So you just go to your Google, search of Tailwind CSS. Alright, so when you search of Tailwind CSS, this is it here. So what you need to do is you have to click on this framework guide. As you click on framework guide, now we are going to work with Laravel. So we click on Laravel. So as it is open, we have two tabs. This is using Bit, using Laravel Mix. So we are going to use the default one, which is using Bit. So before we do this, we are going to make sure that we are inside our local host folder. So it depends on what local host you are using. In this project, we are going to use XAMPP. So I'm going to open XAMPP. You can also download XAMPP. So I'm going to open XAMPP. Let's make sure you download the latest version. You start it like this. For you to download XAMPP, it's just very easy. You can just go to your browser, type XAMPP, download, then search up XAMPP download. You can see download XAMPP. You just click on download. It will take you to XAMPP. When it take you to XAMPP, the website, from there you can see many versions that you can download. So you download the latest version if possible. This is the latest version. Depend on your bit. So you just download this. When you download it, you install it. That is the local host. So now let's get back. All right. So as you open your Explorer, then you go to C drive. You can see XAMPP folder. Open the XAMPP folder. Inside the XAMPP folder, you open htdocs. From there, we are now going to open command from this folder. So you just click, type cmd, then you hit enter. So when you do this, you can see now you are in htdocs. So make sure this is open properly. After this, you now go back to your browser. So we are going to use Composer to create this project. This is Composer. So if you don't have Composer installed on your system, this is how you install it. So let me copy this Composer like this. We'll just come to this place. We'll say download Composer. So you hit enter. This will take you to this first item, which is get Composer. So you click on it. This is the Composer download page. You can copy this and paste it in the directory of your project and hit enter. That is, you copy it like this, then you now paste it here. I already have Composer, so I don't need to do that. Or you can click on download and run. You just click on this Composer setup here. It will start downloading for you. So you now install it after it downloaded. These are the processes to install Composer. Alright, so make sure you do that, otherwise your project creation will not be successful. Alright, so now after you do this, you now click on copy this command, composer create project Laravel, then the name of your project. So you remember we open this htdocs in our directory, so you now paste it. So this will create Laravel project, a brand new Laravel project. So let's remove this default name. We call it loan. Let's say we call this loan. All right, so this is the name of our project. All right, so after you do this, then you now hit on enter. Before you do that, make sure you are connected to internet, because it's going to generate a lot of files in your system. So you hit enter. So this is going to download all the necessary files needed and set up your Laravel project for you. So this is sometimes takes time, depend on your internet connection. If you have strong internet connection, this is not supposed to take long period of time. So let's be patient and watch the progress until when it is done. Therefore, we will make sure that we don't have any problem. It is installing all the packages needed for the startup. So let's wait for it. Alright, so now it has finished installing all the necessary things needed. Alright, so let's go back to the website. So here you can see cd my project. So now we need to change directory. So cd, the name of our project is loan, then hit enter. Now we are in a loan folder. So after we do that, we'll now go and install Tailwind CSS with use of npm. npm stands for Node Package Manager. So that means if you don't have Node.js installed on your computer, you need to install it. So for you to install it, you just go to Node website, Node.js website. Just type Node.js. This first option, you click on it. So this is the latest version of Node.js as at this time. Maybe when you are opening this at that time that you are opening it, it may be different from this version. So make sure you install the latest version. Currently, we are going to use this version. All right. So make sure you install it. All right. So I'll copy this command. Right click, copy. And we'll come back. We'll now click on this. So we are now pasting it inside. Next, we just hit enter. This is going to install npm inside this project for us. So it is generating all the necessary files from internet. So make sure you have internet connection. Alright, so now we have installed npm inside this project. So what we need to do next is we'll go back there. You can see npx tailwind css initialize, that is init. So right click, copy it. Then after you run it, it is going to generate these two files, tailwind.config and post.config. Alright, for css.config. So we'll just copy this particular command, right click, copy, then you come back and also add it up here, then hit enter. So it have created, you can see created Tailwind CSS config file and also post CSS config file. All right, so the text editor we are going to use in this project is Visual Studio Code, that is VS Code. So if you don't have it, you just type VS Code, download, just search for this. All right, so it will open this for you. Just click on the first item, so you can see Visual Studio Code website. So depend on your window, you can just follow the instruction. If you are using Windows, it depends on your operating system. If you are using Windows, so you can just download, just click and download. This is going to set up the this is going to give you the setup, then you now install it in your computer. All right, so now as we do this, to open our website, our project in VS Code, that is Visual Studio Code, what we need to do is we can just type code dot. When you type this, you hit enter. This is going to open this project in VS Code. Yes, so our project is open in VS Code. All right, so you can see all our project folders. You can see it, right? So you can see it generated this file for us, that is Tailwind CSS. It's also generated this post CSS config for us. All right, so what we are going to do now is we are going to do the remaining work. So we'll come back to the Tailwind CSS website. We are going to add this inside the Tailwind config file. So right click, copy this code, go back to your VS Code. This is the Tailwind config file. This is it here. So what we need to do is this content, we will now remove it, then paste the code we copied. It's same things, we just added the project is going to work with resources than any file that is of blade file. So Laravel have a default templating file which is blade, and it is also going to work with JS. It is also going to work with view file. All right, that's Vue.js. So when we do this, you click on Ctrl+S to save it. So when you save, your project is saved completely now. All right, so after this, we'll go back to Tailwind CSS. We are going to add the Tailwind directive to our CSS. So all we need to do is we'll copy this. When we copy this code, we'll go to our development environment. You navigate to resources. This is where all your files are going to be. So go to CSS, then app.css. App.css is currently empty, so we are going to paste the code that we copied, this particular code here. All right, so let's press Ctrl+S. So as we do this, we are now good to go with Tailwind CSS. So we don't need to run npm run now. We don't need to do anything because we are going to install authentication package in our project. All right, so this is how we can install Tailwind CSS together with Laravel. In the next lecture, we are going to install the authentication. So see you in the next lecture. Do not forget to write reviews, good reviews, to support this whole lecture. Thank you. See you in the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to run the project for the first time to see how it looks like. So for we to run the project, we have to go to the command prompt. We have to make sure that we are inside the project folder, that is this. So we'll type php artisan serve. So we hit enter. Make sure your XAMPP is on as usual. Alright, so it will give us this address. So we'll copy this address, you go to your browser, we'll now use the address. This is it here. So you now hit enter. So now our project is created successfully. You can see the version of the Laravel, which is 10.18.0, the version of the PHP 8.1.2. Alright, so this is how we run it. So next we are now going to see how we can install the authentication package. We are going to use Laravel Breathe. See you in the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to add authentication into our project. So for you to add it, let's open Laravel documentation website. So you just go to your browser, type Laravel, hit enter. So the first item, which is laravel.com, click on it to open it. Click on this search Laravel Breathe. This first option, Laravel Breathe Starter Kit, click on it. You will scroll down. We have to install this with use of Composer. So you click on this to copy it, or you highlight everything, right click, copy. We'll go back to your command prompt. You can see currently our project is running, so we have to open another command from the project directory. So you go back to the project directory, which is in C. You go to XAMPP, you go to htdocs. The name of our project is loan. This is it here. So you click inside, type cmd, hit enter. This is going to open directory from this project folder. So now paste this command, Composer require Laravel Breathe. Make sure you are connected to internet before doing this. So hit on enter. This is going to download all the Breathe packages. Alright, so now Breathe package is installed in our project. So now we have to confirm something. Let's go back to our browser. This is how our project looks. So let me refresh this project. So as we refresh it now, what we need to do next is, you can see we do not see any changes in the project. So let's go back to the installation guidelines. This package, you can see PHP Artisan Breathe install. So let's copy this line. You come back to this, then you paste it. This is going to install the Breathe inside the project after downloading it. So let's hit on enter. So it is asking which Breathe stack will you like to install. So select the first item, which is Blade. Alright, so just hit enter. You can see if you hit enter, it will say error value is invalid. So you need to specify that it is Blade. Alright, so let's type Blade. enter. You can see, will you like dark mode support? Just say no. Then will you like testing framework? Do you prefer? Which do you prefer? So you can just hit enter. So this is now installing the package, which is Breeze. So let's give it little period of time. It will be done very soon. If it opens something like this for you, just click on keep run. So now Breeze is installed in the project. Alright, so when you go back to the installation guidelines, we are not going to migrate yet. When you come back to the page, you refresh it, you can see we have login and register page created for us. If you click on login, you can see this is going to open the login page. When you click on register, it is also going to open the register page. But currently we cannot be able to register. We cannot also be able to log in. So for you to do that, we need to create database for our project and configure it. So to create the database, let's go to localhost /php my admin. You hit on enter. So as we are using XAMPP, so we are going to use php my admin to create the database. So here we have all the list of the database. So you click on new. The name of the database, you can give it loan. Then you click on create. So now we created a database called loan. So let's copy this database name and configure it in our project. So you come back to this. For you to configure it, you can see environment.env file. So you click on it. You now come to database. Here you can see the default name of the database is Laravel. So just remove the Laravel and add the name of your database, which is loan. If you are using different username in your username server in your local host, you can use it here. If you have password, you can add it, but default when you install XAMPP, you don't need to change anything. So you just have loan. That is all. Make sure you save this file. So you go to file, then you click on save. You have saved this file. You can close it now. Alright, so as we do this, next thing to do is we are now going to migrate. So what we have to do is, let's go back to the directory. You can click on npm install for the Breeze to work perfectly. So click on it. You just copy this npm install, come back to this particular place, paste it. Alright, this is installed. Then after this, you can also come back again. You can click on npm run dev. You paste it also. So the last thing for you to do is we have php artisan migrate. All right, so you just click on this, but before you migrate it, we have to do some little changes. When we talk about migrate, that means as we create the database, which is the loan database, we have a migration folder, a migration file inside the database. So this is database folder. We have migration. You can see we have this user. All right, so this user, we have to change some fields for we to migrate it into our database. All right, so for you to change the fields, these are the steps that we are going to take. So we are going to add some fields. So I'll just copy this. We are going to use images, so add image here. We are also going to use phone number. So all these fields we are going to add no label. So no label means even if there is no content in it, it won't give us problem. Here also we are going to add no label. Then we are going to add two more fields. We'll add them, let's say, at this place. So this is going to be for role and status. So we are going to have admin. We are also going to have user. So these are the two roles that we are going to deal with. So admin, then we have user. So the default is going to be user. So we type default like this. We now indicate which is going to be the default registered members, which is going to be user. Now put semicolon. Make sure you end everything with semicolon. So this is for the role. We'll copy this and paste it below. So this is going to be for status. So the status of this user, we have two options: active and inactive. So the default is going to be active. The default we can use inactive. That means admin need to activate person before person can be able to carry out some operations. So we use inactive as the default. All right, so this is cool. We are done with the setup of the migrations table. So we are now good to migrate our database informations. So come back to this, copy, then open commands from this is already running. So you can go back to your directory, open another CMD, then paste this PHP artisan migrate. All right, I repeat again, make sure that in your EMB file you set up your database, which is the name of your database. Here we created it as loan. All right, we created it as loan. This is it here. So let's now activate this, which is PHP artisan migrate. Hit enter. So now it have migrated the tables for us. All right, all the migrations table are done. So now let's come back to this database, refresh the PHP my admin. You can see inside this loan database we have tables. The users table that we just changed the migrations detail, this is how it looks like. You can see we have name, image, phone number, email, and other things, role and status that we just added. All right, so now we are good to go. All right, so in the next lecture we are going to seed some data into the table. Therefore we can be using the data in our next lectures. We can use the data for login and register as well. All right, so see you in the next lecture. In this lecture we are going to learn how we can seed data into the database. What we mean by seeding data into the database is you add some default data into your database without the use of form. All right, so for example, when we come to PHP My Admin, you click on browse, you can see our user table is empty. There is no any record into it. So we are going to use seeder to seed data into this table. So let's begin. So for we to do this, we first of all need to open our command prompt. So command prompt is open. From this, you have to make sure you are inside your project directory. So I'm going to use PHP artisan to generate the seeder class. All right, so we type it like this. So users table seeder, this is going to be the seeder name. Then this is the command php artisan make seeder. All right, so before you hit enter, go to your project folder. Here, this is where the seeder is going to be created. Inside the database directory, you can see we have seeders. Here we have only one seeder, which is the default database seeder. You understand? So this is where our seeder class is going to be created. So let's go to the project again. Let's go to the command prompt, then we hit enter after typing this command. It have created seeder class. You can see database seeders users table seeder created successfully. So when we come back to our project here, you can see we have database seeders, we have the users table seeder. When we click on it, this is what we have. All right, so this is how you can create the seeder class in your project. Next, we are going to do so many things. So first of all, we have to include our users model, which is the one that we use to navigate to communicate with our database from our project. So to see the model, you have to come to app folder. We have models, you click on it. This is users model, so we have to call it inside our seeder class. So you just click on this, you just type this. All right, so we are done with this. Next, we are going to add all the content of what we want to seed. All right, so let's start with a comment. So for you to comment, you just do this. So we are going to seed admin user. So we have to call this user. So now this user model, we say create. That means it's going to create a record for us inside our user table. All right, so we are going to add the default records. So we'll start with name we'll add username. Let's check our table. We'll make sure that we have username. So we don't have username, so we have to continue with the remaining fields. All right, so let me do this. Therefore we can see all the fields. We have name, we have added it there. Alright, so now we are going to set this data for the name, admin user, email, admin@example.com, role, admin, status, active, password. It is going to hash and hash this text, which is password. So this is it. Next, we can do same things for the user. Alright, so let me just copy this. So this is going to be for a regular user. This is a comment. All right, so we change this to regular user. The role we also change it to user. Instead of admin, it's going to be active. It's also going to be password. This is the password here. All right, so when we set this, we are going to get those data in our table. All right, so after we make sure that this is added successfully, we don't have any problem, what we need to do, we have to click on save to save this. All right, so when we save it, make sure you save this. After you save it, we'll now go back to your CMD. So we'll now run a command to send that record into our database. So for it, this is the command. Alright, so this is the command php artisan db seed. Then we indicate the class, and it's equals to users table seeder, which is this users table seeder. Alright, so now let's hit on enter. Alright, so you can see we have little thing that we need to adjust. It is telling us whenever you come across this error, it says database seeder hash not found. Alright, so you have to include the hash that you used in your project. All right, so let's include the hash we used in the project. Instead of using hash, we can use another inbuilt Laravel function, which is bcrypt. You type it like this, bcrypt. All right, so this is going to encrypt this password text. So just copy this and also use it at this. All right, so make sure you click on save to save your project. After you save it, let's go and give it a try again. So you use this command, php artisan db seed class users table, hit enter. Very nice, it says seeding database. All right, then it's run everything. So let's go back to our database and check it out. All right, so we'll come back to our database here. In the database, you click on browse. Yes, you can see the two records are there. Name, we have admin, user, regular. This is email, role, admin, then this role is user, then the status is all active. Then these are the encrypted passwords where we use bcrypt to encrypt them. All right, so this is very cool. All right, so now let's give it a try. I'll copy this email. Let's go to our project. You refresh the project, go to login. So we use that email. Then in our Cedar, if you can remember, we use password as our password for the admin. We also use it as the password for the user, so we use this. Then you hit login. Yes, you can see we are logging successful. When I click on log out, I'll use the user account. I'll click on login again. Then the password, we'll put password. Then we'll now log in. You can see regular user. This is cool. So here we come to the end of this lecture. See you in the next lecture. In this lecture, we want to populate this loan type with the data that we have in the loan type table. All right, so that is what we want to do. So for we to do that, all we just need to do is, first of all, we have to create relationship between the two tables. All right, so to create a relationship between the two tables, we have to go to the model. All right, so let's go to the model. So here we have, let's close this. Also, you don't need this also. Loan application controller, let's close this. So first, now let's go to the model. So model is inside our models. So open loan application model. So inside this, we'll create the first relationship. So here we are going to create a function. We'll call it public function. We can call it loan type. All right, so now open curly brace and close it under this. So now say return this belongs to. Then this we are now going to call the other, that is the loan type, this particular loan type model. So loan types, then class. All right, so we are done with this first part. We save it, then we open the loan type also. So inside the loan type, we are also going to create the relationship. So here it is also going to be public function. We'll call it loan application. Loan applications like this. All right, so we now say return this. You can say has many. So here we are going to call the loan application model. so we are also going to utilize the class in it. All right, and we'll put semicolon at the end. So now we are done with this also. So next we have to go to the controller. So the loan controller, HTTP controllers, then we have backend, we have admin, then loan controller. So inside this loan controller, you can see this is the function that used to display this view. All right, so we have to attach some things into it. So before we attach things, let's now call the model, that is the loan type model also. So I'll just copy this, I'll paste this, and here is going to be loan types, like this. All right, so after the loan types, here we are now going to create a variable. We'll call it loan types is equals to loan type, that is this model, like this. Then we will now say all. All right, then we'll now put semicolon at the end. So this is cool. So now the last part is we have to go to the view, that is this particular view, this whole form view. So we have to go to the form view. So to do that, let's minimize all this. We go to resources, we have views, then we have users, then we have loan application. We'll double click on this to open this. So this is it here. So here we have to remove these three. We'll change this to select loan type. So we'll do something like this, select loan type, like this. And here we'll remove the value from personal. We'll say selected. This is the selected item. So after we do this, next we have to create for each. So we'll say for each. So for each, we create a variable which you get from the controller. This is it, loan type. So let's just copy this compact, but we have to compact it here. We already know that. So say comma, then we now type compact. All right, then we paste it inside here. So now we'll come back to this place. We'll now add it off like this. Then as we can create another variable, loan type we can say as LT. All right, so inside this for each, we are now going to add the option. All right, so the option, the first value is going to be this lt.id, that is ID. We are going to use the ID first. So LT like this, then we have ID. All right, so after we do this, inside this other one, we can just copy this exactly the way it is. So we'll now paste it at this place. All right, so next thing to do is we'll now say name. All right, so press Ctrl+S to save this. So that is all we have to do. So now let's go there and refresh this. Yes, as we refresh it here, it remains select loan type. When we click on the drop down, you can see we have all these 4 loan types from our database, that is from this database here. All right, so here we have come to the end of this lecture. We'll meet in the next lecture. Do not forget to drop review for this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to change the default page of this application to login page. For example, now as we load the page with this address, it is showing us this welcome page. We are going to change it to this login page. All right, so for we to do this, let's go to the code. This is our folder. This is the view, that is this particular view that always used to load. This first view is here. We click on resources, views, welcome. So this welcome is the page that displays this content on the browser. So we want change it to views auth login page. So we are going to change it to this login page. So for we to do that, all we have to do is we have to go to the route. So go to route folder, then wave.php. So in this, you can see this welcome page, that is this particular page here, this particular page. We are going to replace it with this. So this page, which is login.blade, is inside auth folder. So we'll just do this. We'll come to this place, we'll remove this welcome, then we will now add auth, that is the name of the folder, that is this particular folder here. Then we'll now put .login. Alright, so when we do this, we have now changed the default page. So click on save, that is Ctrl S to save it. So this is how we can do it. When we come back now to the page, when we refresh this, you can see our default page is now login. So this login is the login form that user can use to log into his dashboard. Admin can also use it to log into his dashboard. Alright, so this is all. In the next lecture, we are going to customize this login page. See you in the next lecture. So in this video, we are going to customize our login form, that is this particular login page. Alright, so for you to do that, I have attached two files into this video, alright, into this lecture. So the files are, we have login.html, then tailwind.css, that is tailwindmin.css. I have attached it. You can just download it below this lecture. Alright, so how do we use it? What we have to do now is this file, I'll just right click on it, I'll open it with my editor. Since I'm using VS Code, I'll open it in restricted mode. Alright, so the way it is now, I don't need this. I'll just delete this. So I will now Ctrl A to copy everything from this. Next, I'll go to the login, that is this particular login on the page. So I will now go to resources, views, auth. This login, which is generated by Breathe authentication package. So I will click on login like this. So I will now come to the end of this. This is our default code. So we are now going to paste everything here. Alright, so the first customization is we have to copy this whole thing, that is the form. This is form post route login, that is the route of this form when it is clicked. Alright, so we just copy everything from here. We'll now come to the form here, which is empty. I'll just paste it. Alright, so we are done with this part. Next part is we have to just come to this place. You can see name, email, right? So we'll now copy. We are just going to add three more things: name, then we are also going to add the value. Alright, so I'll copy this name first. So in the email here, you can see we have email ID, then give space. We now put name. After this, we'll add value. So this value, what we have to do is, you can see here, this is how the value is for the email. This is the value here. So copy this, only this, alright, like this, because the way we use it in our normal HTML is different from the Blade file. So we have to know how to use that. So for the value, what we have to do is we just need to use this. Then we'll now paste this all email, that's the value. So next, we are now going to use, we are going to add placeholder. The placeholder, we'll call it email. So this is for the email. We are done with the email. So for the password, all we just need to do is also same things. We'll just come to the ID. After ID, we just put name. Name is going to be password. Then after the name, we'll also add placeholder. So the placeholder will also put password. All right, so that is this. Then after this, we have forget password. So this forget password, we are going to add a route to the forget password. So we'll just put this. Anytime you want to add a route, you just put route like this. Open round bracket, close the round bracket. Inside the round bracket, we'll put password dot request. That is the name of the route. All right, so this route handle the forget password. All right, we are going to test it out later on. Okay, so that's it. Then after this, you can see the item here which says don't have account. That means if you don't have account, so we have to also add a route that will take somebody to register page. So we have the double curly brace. Then we'll now add the route. The route is register. So that is all on this. Okay, so now we are free to remove this particular one. This particular one, that is the delete syntax. We have to remove them all. So we just come to this place, remove everything from there, Ctrl+S to save this. So to save it, what we have to do is after I click on Ctrl+S, we save this file. So we can go back to the page, refresh it. You can see since we are working with bit, we already have the output. So next thing is to add this file. We have to add this file, which is tailwind min.css. That's what we are going to add. So for we to add it, I'll copy this file like this. When I copy it, I'll go into the project file. This project file now, that is, we have a public folder. Inside this public folder, we are going to create a folder. We'll call this folder as backend. All right, so inside the backend, we'll create another folder. We'll call it CSS. All right, so this is going to contain this. So this CSS, for we to add something into it, we'll just right click on it. You click on reveal in file explorer. That means you are going into the page. You can see htdocs learn public backend CSS. So we are going to paste this file. I have to copy this file from here. So we'll now come and paste it at this place. So now this file is added. So we have to load it on this page for our page to be beautiful. So what we have to do is come back here before the title. We'll add a link, the href. So we'll now put double brace like this. Then we'll now say asset. When we say asset, we are referring to this public folder. All right, so now open a round bracket and close it. So put this. All right, so when we put this, next thing to do is we are going to specify the folder. The folder is backend. All right, so backend, then slash css slash tailwind, the name of the file, tailwind dot main dot css. All right, so after doing this, make sure we click on save to save this. So we'll now go back to the login page. You can see, yes, we have our login page. We have forget password link, we have login, we have this sign up. All right, so let's try to log in now and see if everything went well. So our admin login details are admin at example.com. Then the password we put password. All right, then we'll click on login. So it is loading. Yes, we are done this successfully. All right, we can also test with use of user. So I think user is user at example.com. Then the password is password. Then we'll click on login also. Yes, now we can see we have all arrived successfully. All right, so log out as well. So now next thing to do is we have to check this forget password. When we click on it, it takes us to default forget password page. Likewise, when we click on sign up, it will also take us to default sign up page. All right, so now we follow them accordingly. All right, so this is done successfully. In the next video, we will now customize the forget password page. All right, so see you in the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to add more information, more pictures to this login form. So now imagine if you try to log in. For example, we know that when we use this detail, that is admin at example.com, then we also use password, that is our real password. When we click on login, so definitely we are going to log in successfully. All right, so in a situation where when we try to use wrong password, for example, I'll put something like aa@gmail.com, then we put the password, just anything that comes to our mind. When we click on login, so you can see it is not login because the details are incorrect, right? But we need to as well show some information. Therefore, the user will know that he had made mistake. All right, so let's begin with that. So for we to do that, we have to go to the login page. This is the login page. All right, so inside the login page, since we are using Tailwind CSS, all right, so what we have to do is let's come under this form, that is under the CSRF token here. So we are using Tailwind CSS. We are going to design a simple information component, all right, that can only be displayed if there is an error. So we'll start with the if. So here we have if, then we have end if. So inside the if, we are now going to specify the conditions. So we have this Laravel error so say if errors So now these details here tell us that if errors have email, that means we have error in the email that we are submitting, and also or we have error in the password, that is in the password we are submitting. So the next code is going to be executed. So now we are going to add a div for that. So inside this div, we are going to add some Tailwind CSS class. All right, so now we have added the alert div. All right, so next we are going to add the items, so we are going to use ul for that. So now these items are going to be two. There may be one for email, then the other one for password. So we do it like this. So now if it is for the email, that means if the error is from the email, so this is where we are going to display the error. All right, so if the error is from the email, so email error is going to be displayed. Else, if it is for the password, so also do another if statement at the bottom. All right, so if it is the password, we just change this to password. Then we are going to display the password. We are going to display the error. All right, so now let's check this out and see how it looks like. Currently, when we go back to the page, we make sure we save the changes we have made. So when we go back to the page, click on refresh to refresh it. We cannot be able to see anything yet, all right, because we said if there is the error. So now let's try it out. We are going to use wrong email, so I can put asdf at, let's say, yahoo.com, and the password I can put something like qq, just anything that comes to our mind. So I'll click on login. So you can see these credentials do not match our record. All right, so now this is how we can be able to show error. All right, let's assume we use the correct email, admin@example.com. so now put the password to our original password, which is password. We click on login. Yes, we are able to log in. So this is how we can be able to show error in our page. All right, see you in the next lecture. Please do not forget to write a review. Therefore, it will help us and make our lectures more useful to all the other students. In this lecture, we are going to learn how to work with forget password. So when we click on forget password, this page is going to display for us. That is the forget password, where user will add his email, then will get the password reset link into his email. So this is a default page generated for us by Breeze authentication package that we installed earlier. So now we are going to customize this page. Therefore, we'll change the design and add so many things to it. So to do that, there is a file that we are going to work with. This file, it is just a design forget password page that we are going to use to customize this particular one. All right, so let me preview it for you. Therefore, you can see how it looks like. So the way it is now, I'll just open it in a browser. Alright, so you can see it here. It is not displaying anything for us because we have to add the Tailwind CSS link, the CSS link to it. Alright, so to do that, all we have to do now is let's go to the code section. This is the code. So what we have to do is we need to copy everything from this. I'm going to put a link, a download link of this file under this particular lecture. All right, so when you open it, I already copied everything. I'll copy it, then we'll go into our project. We have to go through this resources folder, views, auth, then we have forget password. So this is the default forget password page. So I'm going to paste the copied. I'm going to paste the copied. All right, so now let me remove everything from this. I will remove this particular link, that is the CSS link. When I remove it, next thing to do is we are going to replace it later on. All right, so for now let's deal with the form. So as usual, we have our form here with method of post, then action is says password email, right? Then we'll see srf token. So let me copy this. When I copy this, I'll now come to the form here. I will remove this and replace this particular one. All right, so after doing this, the next thing to do is we will now come to the input. We have the email input. You can see we have ID, then we have type, then we have name. So name and value. All right, so we have done this earlier. So let me copy the name. Later on I'll put the email as well. All right, so now this is our email here. We just click the input. We'll now add this particular one. Next, we are going to add value. So the value is going to be as we did on the other page, which is our login page. So we'll put old, then open round bracket, close, and we'll now add email. All right, so that is all. Now next, if we like, we can add placeholder. So the placeholder is also going to be email. So that is all on this. But here we have a link that is back to login. So let's assume we want to set back to login. So we'll now add a URL, that is our login page URL. So we'll do this. We'll now put URL, open round bracket, close, then we'll now add this slash. So we'll add this slash. So we are now referring to our index page, that is this first page. When we remove this forget password, this is now our main page, that is the first page. So the URL, the moment we add slash, so we are referring to that home URL. All right, so that's all on this. So what we have to do next is I'm going to remove everything from this, that is our blades. The default blade syntax is going to be removed, so we have only the new one. So I'll put on save, that is to save this. Next, we'll go back, refresh this page, so click on forget password. Yeah, so now everything is there. The only thing is that we're supposed to link our Tailwind CSS. So I'll show you the other time. When you come to Tailwind CSS, let's open Tailwind CSS. All right, you have to make sure you are connected to internet because we want to open the Tailwind CSS website. All right, so I want to show you another trick to easily include Tailwind syntax into your project. So as we did earlier, you can just come down here. You can see this bit resource CSS app. All right, so you just copy this particular item. So when you copy it, we'll now come back to the page here. So we'll make sure we include it at this place, paste it here, then we'll click on save to save the file. All right, so you remember we changed this inside resource CSS app.css, this particular item here. All right, so now what we have to do next is we'll go back to there. After adding it, we'll try to refresh our page. So you can see now our Tailwind CSS is added. All right, so now we have this link, which is back to login. The moment we click on it, it will take us back to our main page, that is the login, which is the URL of it is /. So that is what we just use here. We use / as the URL /. So it is now taking us to there directly. Had it been we use something like URL /, then we'll put something like register. So when I save this, if we go back to the refresh it, when I go to forget password, when I click on back to login, you can see instead of it to take me back, it is taking me to /register. So that is how it works. So let us immediately change it back to the home page, that is our login page. All right, so this is how we can customize the reset password page. All right, that is our forget password page. So see you in the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to set up forget password. All right, after we have customized it to this look. So for we to do that, first of all, we need a situation where when we add our email, for example, the email we are using for user, so user@example.com. so if we send this, it should take us to it will take us to our email, where we are going to get a verification link. There, when we click on the link, then we can reset the password. All right, so that's what we are going to do now. So first of all, we need to set up an SMTP server for that. So we are going to use a sample, just a simple one. So for you to set it up, we are going to use there is a mail trap. So this mail trap, we click on enter. This is going to, you can see this mail trap. So you just click on it. When you click on it, you can sign off into it. So to sign off is just very easy. So let's just click on sign off. So I'm going to use Google account. You can also sign up with your email. All right, so when you click on sign up with email, add your email account. So then you add your password. Also repeat the password. Then click on sign off. So they have sent a confirmation link. All right, so let me check my email to see the confirmation link. All right, so the confirmation link will soon appear. So let us wait for it. So the moment it appears, all you just need to do is to just go to your email, open it, then click on the confirmation link. All right, so in the inbox, the email is not there. So let me check this spam folder. So when I click on spam folder, yes, we can be able to see it in the spam folder. So just click on spam, you can see it. So I just click on confirm my account. So this is now going to confirm my account. So after confirmation, I just need to log in to my account. All right, so this is just a very easy step. All right, alright, so you just click on this to close. So email testing, so you just click on start testing. So here you can see integration, SMTP setting, that is the integration. So you click on the drop down here, you choose the framework you are using. We are using PHP and Laravel. Alright, so you can see Laravel 9 plus. So you just click on this because we are using Laravel 10. So this, we are now going to copy everything. You just highlight everything, right click and copy it. All right, so this is our SMTP setting. So go back to the code. This is our code here. I have to remove, I have to just go to this place. You go to .env file. Inside the .env file, we have these items here. that is our mail setting. So I'll right click and paste what we have copied. So you can see we have mailer, that is this particular one. We have mail host, this is it here. We have mail fort, this is it here. We have mail user, then we have mail password. So we'll just remove all this. All right, so we'll now close this gap. All right, so now we have set our email. All right, so next thing to do is we are now going to test out and see how our email verification will go. All right, so let's test it out and see. So let's go back to this is it, our forget password. We have to refresh it. All right, so our user is user@example.com. So click on send reset link. All right, so it is loading. We just have to give it a little period of time. So make sure you have internet connection while you are trying to do this. All right, so it is downloading. So when we go back to the mail trap, you can see we are able to see the forget password notification in our email. So just click on this, then it will open. You can see reset your password. All right, so when we click on reset password, this is going to take us to a reset password page. All right, so now what we have to check here is that, let's assume we put an email that is different from this particular email, maybe sss@example.com. On click on reset, you can see it load and it finish loading, but the thing is that we were not able to see anything. Even when we go here, we are not able to see any email. All right, because we use wrong email. So now we are going to add a notification component to be showing us error if there's any error. All right, so to do that, the easiest way here is that we use this same thing in our login. All right, so when we click on login, this same error, we can just copy everything from here. We'll now go to this place under the CSRF token. We'll now add it up there. So just paste it. All right, so this time around we are only dealing with email input, so we have to just remove the password. We don't have anything to do with the password. So on doing this here, we say that if error has email or error has password, so we don't need the one of the password, we only need the one for the email. So we just click on this, then we now save. So let's try it out. We're supposed to see an error. All right, so I'll come to this place now. I will refresh the page before I try it. So let me use wrong email. So I'll click on send reset link. You can see we have an error component which said we can't find a user with that email. All right, so that is this. So what about if we use correct email? That is our correct email like this. When we click on reset, you can see it will load. Now it has sent the link. It has sent the link. You can see the link a few seconds ago, right? So we're supposed to also receive notification that yes, the link had been sent. So for we to do that, we have to add another component inside this form. All right, so what we have to do is we can do it below this if statement, that is for our forget password. So we'll start with also another if. So inside this, we will now specify the condition. So if session have status, so we'll now put the code that's supposed to run for us. All right, we'll use Tailwind CSS class to add some little graphics, to add some little styling to it. So we use background color to be green 100, that is a light green. Then we'll now add border Alright, so then outside we'll specify the role of it is going to be alert. Okay, so now we have specified this. Next thing is the content of the div is just going to be, we have to add this two curly braces. Then we'll say session status. Alright, so that is all. So now let's save this and check it again and see how it looks like. Alright, so now let me refresh this page. So as I refresh it, I'll go and use correct email. Now I click on send reset link. You can see we have success message which said we have email your password reset link. So when we check it, you can see this is the password reset link. Alright, so when we click to test it out, we just click on reset password. This is going to open this page for us. Alright, so this is where we are going to stop in this lecture. In the next lecture, we are also going to customize this reset password page. See you in the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to customize this forget reset password page. Alright, so to do that, as usual, I have a file. This file, which is named reset password, is going to be added as a link to download under this lecture. Alright, so before then, I'm going to open this file in VS Code. Therefore, we can copy the code and replace it with the existing one. Alright, so let's find the existing code. It's here under the resources. We have views, we have auth, then we have reset password. Alright, so this is the reset password. So before we go further, let's get the code from this particular file. As usual, we're going to copy everything from here. Ctrl+C to copy it all. So as we copy it, we can now go to the page that is this reset password and paste it below this. Alright, so now as we did this, the next thing to do is this particular link here, we have to remove it. We just did that for the forget password page. That is this. We have to copy this bit. Alright, we copy it, then we make sure that we come to this particular place, remove this and replace it with the other one. Alright, that is this. So when you are using this bit, you have to make sure that you run this command, that is alright, make sure that you run npm, you understand, right? So this is the command npm run dev. Alright, so when you run it, so you are going to get all the styles that we added inside this app.css, which is inside our css folder. Alright, you can also use the other way around, that is the one that I have just removed. So it's just very easy to follow. So now what we have to do is we have to copy this form as usual, come and replace it with this form here. Alright, so after we do this, next we have this input hidden token, reset password token. All right, so we have to also copy it. We'll put it immediately after the CSRF token. All right, so that is this. Next is we have to also work with the email input. All right, so the email input, we just need to take the name and the value as well. All right, so we'll take the name for the email. When we take the name, come to this place and paste the name, then we'll also add the value. So the value, as usual, we do this, we say old email. All right, old email. So not just old email, this time around we have a requested email. So what we need to do is, let's check it also from here. You can see request email, right? So we have to copy this from the comma, request email. So we now come to this point here, we add it up inside the value. So that is all for this particular one. So therefore we can be able to see the email the same way we are seeing this email at this place. So that is the essence of what we just did. Then for the password, we are also going to take the password. So the type of password, we'll just take the name. Only the name is sufficient for us. So come to this place, where is the name? We have the reset password. All right, so this is it here. We have password, then we'll add the name, which is this. Make sure the name is password. Then the next part, which is for the confirmation, confirm password, to also take the name. Just the name is okay, because we already have the ID as confirm password. We can also do this. We'll take the ID like this. Let's go to the form. You can see the ID is confirm password, so we have to change it to this confirm password the same way it is like this. Then we'll now go back again, we'll copy the name. So this is the name, which is confirm password. So go there and copy it, come back and add the name. All right, so we already know that this is the type of the input, which is password. We have button type submit. All right, so here we can see back to login. So as we did earlier, we just include the URL. So we'll say URL like this, then we'll now put this. This is all. So now we are done with this. So next thing to do is we have to test it out and see. So before we test it out, let's delete this particular file here. All right, so to test it out, what we have to do is, let's refresh the page and see what it contains. So we are refreshing the page. All right, so now we have just refreshed the page. That is our reset password. You can see it is not saved. Make sure you click on Ctrl+S to save your changes. Then you go ahead and refresh the page. All right, so now the page is refreshing, trying to load off all the new look on it. All right, so sometimes when you experience a situation where after refreshing the page is loading, so make sure you press Ctrl+C to stop the npm from running. You remember we did npm run dev, right? This particular command. So stop, just press Ctrl+E to stop it from running. Then you now run it again. Just Ctrl+C like this. It will stop the npm from running. So you now press npm run dev again. Hit enter. So when you do this, it will start your bit again. If you are all right, so when it started, now your page is going to reload automatically. All right, so as it reload now, you are going to try it again. We'll click on user at example, then click on set. So wait for it to send the reset link again. From there we can be able to see our customization. All right. All right, so now we have to check and see the email because it have sent us a message. So we'll go there. You can see the email is there. We'll click on it. So we'll now go and click on reset password. So this now have load our customized form. All right, and it also load with the current email. So now what we have to do is we want a situation where, for example, when we add new password and the password did not tally, or let us when we add a new password, the password minimum is 8. So when we add something less than 8, when we click on reset password, it is not going to do anything. There is an error. All right, so how can we see the error? We can do it in same way we did for the login. All right, so we can do that. We can go to the login. The login, we have this error, so we can just copy it and use it at that same place. So reset password, we can add it up under this, that is under the token. We just add it up like this. All right, so after adding it up, let's save it. So this will show us all the errors that we can encounter. So let's add something from 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5, that is 5 characters. All right, so when I click on reset, you can see it says password field. It says password field confirmation does not match because I put different things. So if I add the 1 2 3 4 5 here, also I add 1 2 3 4 5. When I click on reset password, now you can see the password field must be at least 8. The characters match, but it is not up to 8. So now I will change the password to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now click on reset password. So this time around, the password has been resetted. All right, so we can log in with our new password now. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I'll click on login. Now this new password is going to work. All right, so let me log out and go to forget password again. We will now reset it back to our default password. All right, alright, so it has sent us the link. We'll go back to there. We have the link here. So we'll now reset it back to our default password, which is password. So here also we'll set it back to password. Yes, so now we have successfully set the reset password page. So this is where we have come to the end of this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to focus on the registration page. So when we click on register, you can see this is a default Braid registration page. So we have to customize this. Right, so for we to do that, as usual, I have a registration template that we are going to use. I'm also going to attach it in the lecture. All right, so I'm going to open it by the side. All right, so this is open. I'll just press Ctrl+S to copy everything from there. So after that, we'll now go to the, let me do this. Let's close all these files. So now inside the alt folder, we have register blade. So this register blade, I'm going to paste everything inside. All right, so we have this. Now let's go back to the other page, which is login. Here we have to, let's check this other one. All right, we can use for the login, same things we did. We can just copy this page. We have many ways to include our Tailwind CSS. So on the register, I'm going to replace this. We can still work with this, which is the online version, but just let's use the offline version to save the time. All right, so now we have added this. So next thing to do is we'll start from the top. We'll take this form as usual, so replace it this, then we'll go off again. We have to work with the name input. All right, so name and value. So we'll go back to the button. Here we have the ID name. We'll paste this, then the value is going to be old name. All right, so that is for the name. Now for the email, we also copy email like this. So the name is email, then value also is going to be email. So we'll use old email. All right, so after this, we'll now check the remaining things, which is password. So the name is password, we use it like this. ID, then name, password, and after the password, the next item, which is confirm password. So this we have to change the ID. So we'll go down there, we have the ID, which is confirm password. We have to change it like this. Then we'll also add the name, which is password confirmation. So make sure you put it exactly the way it is. So that is for this. Now next is the link that is already have an account, so login. So we have to add the login page here, or the login route. So just put route, then login, or we can just use this. So this is not route, this should be URL. All right, because login is our first page. So that is cool. Now the last item to add, let's just remove this default blade code. So come back to the login. Here we have to copy this, that is if we have any error in terms of the password or email. So let's just copy everything from here, same things we did in the login, so also do it inside the register. Therefore we can see error. All right, so now we have done everything. Let's save this, then we'll go back to the page. You can see it automatically update everything for us. So let's try out. I'll put something like all right, so email, I can put anything as the email. Let's say sunny@gmail.com. then the password, I'll put 123456, then this 12345. So let's try to log in. Definitely we are going to see an error. You can see password field does not match. So let's add the password, and you can see this message, this information are still there because we are using value all name and value all email. So here let's change the password 123456, 123456. Click on register. So this, now you can see password field must be 8 characters. So let's add the password. We just put password as usual. We'll write password. All right, so let's click on register. Yes, so you can see our new user is being registered successfully. So this is how we can easily customize the registration page. When we check our database, localhost /php my admin, so we can be able to see all the records of our database. All right, the name of our database is loan. So we click on loan. Users, we supposed to have 3 or 4 users now, so we have 3 users. This here, the last one we added. All right, and you can see the user, then the status is inactive. All right, so these are the ones that we seeded the other time. All right, so this is the end of this lecture. I will add the customized page, that is this page that we are going to use to customize under this lecture. So see you in the next lecture. Do not forget to leave a review, please. In this lecture, we are going to work with the admin section and user dashboard section in such a way that we'll separate the user dashboard from the admin dashboard. Let me show you what we are going to do. We have to log in first. I'm logging as user. Alright, so now we have logged in as user. You can see what we have. We are in the dashboard, right? Likewise, when I log out, I now log in as admin. So we log in as admin, we also find ourselves in this same dashboard. So I want a situation where when we have an admin login, admin will have separate dashboard from the user's dashboard. So to do that, first of all, we need to create a controller. All right, so we have to create 2 controllers. So for you to create the controller, this is what we'll do. We'll just open the terminal. Let's open new terminal from the project folder. So to create a new controller, it is just very easy. So what we have to do, we just type php artisan make controller. Then inside we are going to create the controller inside a backend folder. So we have to add backend slash, the name of the first controller is admin controller. Alright, so just hit enter. This is going to create a controller for us, so we can check it out inside the project. When we go to the project, you can see here inside the project we have, for you to access the controllers, you go to app http controllers. You can see this command create new folder. Inside the folder, when we have admin controller, so we'll repeat same statement inside the command to get users controller. So this is it here. So instead of admin controller, this time around we are going to create user controller. So we'll hit enter. So now we have 2 controllers. We have admin controller, then we have user controller. Alright, so the moment you create a controller, the first thing for you to do, you have to include it inside the route page, that is web.php. So because we are going to use it, so for you to do that, we just need to say use app http, that is the folder, then controller, that's the next folder inside. You can see it here. We have app, we have http, and this controller. So you can see controllers, we have to add as controllers. And after this, we are now going to open it and specify this backend folder. So we just put backend. All right, so inside the backend we are now going to specify the controller that we want to import. So we'll start with admin controller, then you put semicolon at the end. So for the user controller, we just copy and paste. So copy that, then we'll change this to user controller. All right, so now this is the first thing that we have to do. All right, so next thing to do is we are going to create a middleware. We are going to create a middleware. So the middleware we are going to create is going to be in between the two routes. Let me explain this to you. For example, now here, if let's say we have admin/dashboard, so we also need to have another URL, another route, which is user, something like this, user.dashboard. So the class that is going to be checking who logged in between our users. You know, we have two different types of users. We have admin, we have user. So the class that is going to be separating the identifying the user role, that is the class that we are going to create. So that is the type of class that functions as a middleware class. So we are going to create a middleware class. So this class, for we to create the middleware class, it is also a simple step. What we have to do, we also have to go to the command prompt as we did for the controllers. So this time around we'll put php artisan make middleware. So this middleware, we can give it a name of check role. That is the name of the middleware. So we just hit on enter. So now it has created this class for us, that is middleware class. So for we to see this, we just need to go to the project file. So we have to go to app http. You can see middlewares. So we'll now go to middleware like this. All right, so inside the middlewares, we can see we have check role middleware. All right, so the last thing that we have to do on this is we need to include this middleware inside. We have to register the middleware. So for we to register the middleware, there is a file called kernel. All right, so this kernel, that's where we are going to register the middleware. So where is the kernel located? This is kernel.php. So just click on this to open it. So when we open it, you just scroll down. You can see this is where we are going to include our middleware. So we can just do something like this. You copy this line, paste it below. So this is alias name, that is aka name. So we'll give it a name of role. All right, then the name of the class is check role. That is this particular class here, this particular one. So you can right click, copy this, put it exactly the way it is, come back, then this place you paste it. All right, so doing this will now give you chance to register this middleware. So after you do that, you just press on Ctrl+S to save it. Then here also we have to include that middleware. All right, we have to include that middleware. It's not that much necessary because we can use it somewhere else, so let's just avoid it for this. All right, so this is how we can create controllers. We also create a middleware, then we also register the middleware. All right, so we'll progress in the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to give condition to the middleware in such a way that it will detect which role is logged in and where to take the login user to. So let's go to the middlewares. We have app http middleware, then we have the middleware, which is check role. So this is the default code created within the middleware. So what we need to do is, here we have to add another parameter. We can call it role. So this is a string variable role, and here inside we have to give you a condition now. So we say if, now we'll now close the if statement here. So let's pass the condition. So the condition, since we have a request, so we'll just go to this, copy this request from here. All right, so if there is a request, then we say request from who, that is from user, and the role of the user. So now if the role is not equal to, if the role is not equal to role, that is the role for our middleware, either user or admin, so what will happen is we are going to specify what needs to be done. So we will now return redirect route. So the route is going to be login route. Right, then you put semicolon at the end. So what we did here is that we will say request user, that means the user that is trying to log in. If that user doesn't have role, so it will redirect that person to login, because login is our initial page, that's the first page. All right, otherwise if that person have a role, so it will now give that person access. All right, so that is it. So we are now done with the check role. All right, so next thing is we have to check and see if that user is really logged in. All right, so for you to check that, we have to go to controllers, http controllers, then we have auth. Inside the auth we have authenticated sessions. That means after a person have role and he successfully logged in, so now we have to work on, you can see handling incoming authentication requests. So this is where we are going to redirect person to where he belongs to. If it is admin, it will direct that person to admin dashboard. If it is user, it will direct that person to user dashboard. All right, so now what we have to do first is that we need to create routes for the admin and the user as well. All right, so to do that, we have to go to the web.php. So it's inside route, the web route. So we already include these two items, that is admin and controller. All right, so next thing to do is we have to create the route. All right, so we are going to create two routes. So let's come down here. So the first route, it is going to be with middleware. We have to guard it. So we have to specify how many middlewares. You can see we have many middlewares. We have auth middleware. For you to confirm that, when you go to kernel, you can see we have this auth middleware, which will check whether person is authenticated or not. Then we have our own middleware here. All right, so likewise on this place here we have auth. So after the auth middleware, we will now give comma. We will now also check that person's role. So we have another middleware, which is role, and the parameter that that role comes with, that is when we are checking the role. You can see user role, right? So when we are checking the role, the parameter it comes with, so we have admin, because when you check inside the database here, we have two roles. We have admin and user. So the parameter admin, so if that person is admin, so now this is a group route we are creating. So all the routes that the admin can be able to access, they are all going to be mentioned here. All right, so all right, so now we have this. Next we just put semicolon at the end. So now this is going to be routes for the admin. So we have other one, which is we can just copy this and paste it below. So this is going to be when the role of the login person is user, so all his routes are going to be added here. All right, so now we'll just deal with one route. So it's going to be a route, and it's going to be a get type. All right, we are not going to post anything, we just want to build some things. So now we are going to specify the URL of it. So it's going to be /admin/ dashboard. All right, then inside this /admin/ dashboard, next what we have to do is we have to put the class. So you can see we already include the controller, that is admin controller class. So just add it. We have to specify that this is a class, so we'll do something like this. Then we give comma, and we're now going to create a function that is going to deal with this. So this is the function which is indexed. Then the name of this route is going to be, so we just need to give it a name. The name is going to be admin dashboard. So that's the name. At the end we'll now put semicolon. All right, so this is done. We are done with this part. All right, so next thing to do is we are now going to, we can copy this exactly the way it is and paste it inside this particular one. So here is going to be user dashboard. All right, then here is also going to be user dashboard, and the controller is going to be inside user controller. So this is user controller. All right, so this is it. So all the routes, that all the pages that admin need to access, they are all, the routes are all going to be inside this group route. The users route are also going to be inside this group, this users group route. All right, so let's save this. Okay, so now we are done with kernel already, so we are going to close the kernel. So now we are inside this authentication session controller. So this authentication session controller, what we need to do is we are going to put the condition. So that means after successfully, you can see request session regenerated when there is successful login. So what we have to do is we have to use condition, that is if else. So the first condition is if the request, that is this particular request, so if the request that user role is equals to admin, that means if the person that log in, his role is admin, so this is what is going to happen. We will return and redirect intended. This should be T. Alright, so return redirect intended. Then we'll open this. We will now specify this route. All right, so we'll specify this route. All right, so now we'll put semicolon at the end. All right, so here we have the next one, which is else if, right? So else if, so this else if is going to be a little bit, we have to do it this way also. We can just copy this. All right, so here we can just hit enter. All right, so else if the user role is user, that means the person that is trying to log in, his role is user. So what we do is we can also copy this particular place. This is very easy to understand, and it's going to be user dashboard, that is this route that we just create, user dashboard. All right, so just copy this also and paste it inside this place. So this is going to be user's dashboard. Else, if maybe it is just a new person that did not log in, so it will redirect to home. So this home is inside router service providers. So this home, that is the initial page. For you to check the initial page, you can go to services folders. This is provider folder. Then we have route service provider. This is route service provider. And you can see this is the home. So the home, we can just remove this and let it be this. That means our home page, which our login page is also always going to be displaying. All right, so that is this. Then the last thing for we to do here is inside the what we have to do next is let's just create the views. All right, so since we already create, or let's press Ctrl S to save the changes that we have just done. This one also Ctrl plus S to save it. Okay, so now what we have to do is let's create views, that is the pages that are going to be displayed. All right, so for you to create the pages, we have to create it inside resources. We'll go to view. So inside the view, we are going to create two folders. All the admin pages are going to be inside admin folder, and we'll create another folder which is user. So all the users pages are going to be inside user. So for the admin, we'll create the first one, we'll call it dashboard. So new file, it's a blade file. We are going to create a blade file. So dashboard.blade.php. all right, then we have inside the user, we also create dashboard.blade.php. so dashboard.blade.php, enter. All right, so now we have these two files. So the first file, let's just use this HTML to just add a default information. Later on we'll change it. So h1, we can say admin dashboard. All right, then for the user, we'll also do same things. So this is h1, we'll call it user dashboard. All right. All right, so now we have these two files ready. We are going to make use of them very soon. So now the last thing that we have to do here is that if, let's assume we have we log in, you can see we suppose to build that, we have to create a function, a method inside this controller with the name of index. Likewise inside this user with the name of index. So let's go there. We'll right click on this to copy this. So go to the, we are done with this, we are also done with this, we are done with this also. So let's go to the controllers, the two controllers we created, HTTP controllers backend admin dashboard. So here we'll create a method. So this is going to be public function, we give it a name of index. So it is not going to return anything, we'll just view something. So we'll say return view. Inside the view, we are going to return admin dashboard. All right, make sure you put semicolon at the end. So that is for this. All right, we'll do same for the user controller. So we'll create also another function. We'll say public function. The name of the function according to our route is index. So click on it, indexed. So it is also going to return view. So return view, which is user dashboard. All right, so let's save this. All right, so this is cool. So now we can test out and see the result of what we just did now. So let's go, we'll come to this this is our page here. Let's log out from this and create a new session. So we'll start with the admin. So we'll go to admin@example.com, then the password is password. So click on login. So you can see, yes, the moment we log in now, we are able to access the admin dashboard. All right, you can see admin dashboard. All right, so let's now log out from there. We can go back to the initial dashboard. Later on, we'll also remove this dashboard, so we can only log out from here. Then we'll also use user, then the password is password, and we'll click on login. You can see we are now in user dashboard. All right, so this is how we can redirect the logged in users according to their role. See you in the next lecture. Do not forget to leave a review, very nice review for this course. Thank you. In this lecture, we are going to change the look of this dashboard, both for the admin dashboard and the user dashboard. All right, so as usual, to do this, there is a file that we are going to use. All right, so let's assume I open this file to view how it looks like. Let's check it out and see how it looks like. So this is the admin page that we are going to use. All right, we'll add many contents at the sidebar as time goes on. So let's add this off. So for you to add it, we'll come back to this file. I'm going to add the file for you to download as usual. So I'll open this inside VS Code. So I'll copy everything from here. So we'll go to the open file is user dashboard. There's it here. So we have to go to users dashboard. So we have to go to resources, views, user, then dashboard. So I'll paste it all inside this. All right. So let's preview it and see the changes we just made. Yes, so this is perfect. All right, so now what we have to do next is we have to segment this dashboard into pieces. Therefore, it's going to be very easy for us to utilize it. We'll segment the heading, we'll segment the sidebar, we'll also segment the footer. So to do this, what we have to do is we just need to go to the file. So inside this user, we are going to create a folder. We can call the folder sections. That means sections of the files. So inside the section, we'll add a file. We'll call it header. This is a blade file. So header.blade.php. Then we'll add another file, which is, we can call it footer. Footer.blade.php. The advantage of this is it will help you to manage your code very well. Then we'll also add another one. We'll call this sidebar. Sidebar.blade.php. All right. So next thing to do is from this dashboard, that is this particular one, you can see from up we have footer. So we'll cut this footer from here. We'll add it up inside this footer file. All right, so to add it inside the dashboard, all we just need to do is we'll just say add include. So we are going to include user. You can see the file user sections, then footer. All right, so that is this. Then we'll also go off. We have header. So let's minimize this. We'll cut the header from here. So we have the header file. This is it here. Let me paste it here. So here we'll also include it. So we'll say include user sections, then header. All right, so that is this. Then next thing to do is we have the sidebar starts from here, so let's cut the sidebar from here also. So we'll come to the sidebar, this is it here, paste it, then inside the sidebar, inside the dashboard, we'll now include the sidebar as well. So include user sidebar. All right, so now we have done this. So if we go to file, save all, when we refresh the page, everything is there intact. All right, so that means our segmentation is okay. So this is now going to contain the content of all our activities. For example, when I add h1 content, so when we save it, we'll go to the dashboard and refresh it, you can see we have content here. All right, so that is it. So we don't need this, we just need to remove this. All right, so that is cool. So now this is done successfully, so we don't have any issue. All we just need to do is we just say yield at yield, the name of it, we'll just call it content. All right, so that is this. So now let's refresh this. All right, so we have everything intact. So we are done with this for the admin. So next thing to do is we are going to do we are done this for the user. So in the next part, we are going to also do for the admin. So to do this for the admin, all we just need to do is let's also go to admin folder. We'll create another folder, we'll call it sections. And inside the sections, we'll create header.blade.php. Then we'll also create another file which is footer.blade.php. Then we'll create another file which is sidebar.blade.php. Alright, so next thing is we have to change the admin content as we did earlier. So now for the admin, we already have the header here. So this file, we have to copy it again, Ctrl+C, copy it, and we'll now go to the admin dashboard and paste it. Alright, that's for the admin. So we'll save it, and we'll cut the footer from here. We'll add it up inside footer here. We'll save it. So let's close this. So in the dashboard now, when we save the dashboard, we need to include the footer. So we can say at include, so include admin sections footer. All right, so that is for this. Then also go off, we have the header, so also need to cut the header from here. So as we cut the header, we have to paste it here also. So we paste the header, let's close the header. So in the dashboard, we'll also include the header. So we say include admin header. All right, so that is this. So we have the sidebar also, we have to cut the sidebar from here. So the sidebar is here, let's cut it and we'll add it here also. We'll save it, close it. Then inside the sidebar, we're going to include this sidebar. So admin section, then sidebar. Alright, so we are done with this. So next we will be working with the content. Alright, so that is all about the admin. Alright, so see you in the next lecture. In this lecture, we are going to deal with changing this name, that is the default name, to the login user's name or login admin's name. Then here is now going to show us the role of that login user, and after that we are also going to add the logout functionality. All right, so before we do that, when we hover the mouse on top of this name, we can see that we cannot be able to, it's supposed to show a pointer, a cursor pointer, for example something like this, but it is not showing this. So we use Tailwind CSS to add that. It's just very easy. Let's see how it looks like. So we'll go to the header. This is the header here. So inside the header, we'll start with the image. So the image will locate the class. This is the class of the image, round full. So what we do is we just put cursor, then pointer. So that is all we can do on this. So we can copy this cursor pointer, add it up inside the h2, that is this h2 that displays the name. So we can add it here. We can also add it inside the role as well. So press Ctrl+S to save it. So let's go back and see how it looks like. You can see, yes, now we have this. The moment you click, we are able to see my profile, setting, and logout. So the next thing to do is we are now going to do the logout. So the logout, we just need to go to heading. Alright, so inside the heading here we have this, that is href. Alright, so now inside the href, what we need to do is, let's assume we have the L1 here, Li here, then we have the closing of the Li. So next is here we are going to add a form, that's HTML form. So the action of this form is going to be, we are going to use route, then we'll now use login like this. So that is, no, not login, we are going to use logout because we are trying to log out. All right, so that is for the logout. Then we also need to specify the method of the form, which is going to be a post method. All right, so that is for this. Then after that, we have to click here to expand the form, expand it again. So inside we are going to call CSRF token, that's our CSRF token. And after this, we are now going to cut this anchor tag here, we paste it inside this. All right, so this anchor tag, you can see we can break it down also, something like this. All right, so what we need to do next here is that the href here, we are going to put the route as well. So we just put this route logout. All right, and after that we are going to add some JavaScript code. So on click, what it will do, event dot prevent default. All right, so event dot prevent default, then we give space and we'll say this dot closest, then we'll do this, then we'll put what form. All right, so after we do this, the next thing to do is, after the form we say dot submit, now open round bracket close, that's a submit function, and we'll now do this. All right, so with this we are able to add the logout functionality. All right, these are very easy things to do in Laravel. All right, so let's check this out and see how it looks like. So let me refresh. So come to this place, you can see I'll click on logout. Yes, we are able to log out. If we try to go back to user dashboard, you can see we cannot be able to go back. So let's log in, user example@gmail.com, then password userexample.com, then password. Now we log in again. All right, so this time around we are going to display the registered user here. We are also going in name, we are also going to display the role of the registered user. So to do that, what we need to do is just very easy. We can come back to this place, that is the heading. So on the heading you can see welcome. So we have to remove this admin. We need to get the name from our database, that is this particular name here. We need to get it. So no matter who is the user, we will get this name, either a regular user or admin user. All right, so let's do this. So here we'll add something like this. All right, so after adding this, next thing to do is we'll call auth user, then the user we are going to take the user name. All right, so user name, that is what we need. All right, so that's cool. So next, let's just save this. We'll go back to this place, we'll refresh the page. You can see this is a regular user. Then the next is we need to display the role of that user. So to display the role, we have to also do same things on this. So let's just copy this. So here we can just paste it, and instead here we are going to say we need the role of that user. All right, so let's save this. Yes, you can see this is a user. So that is all we need to do here. So we will repeat the same things on the admin dashboard. So let's log out and log in as admin. So the admin, we use admin@example.com. Then we have password, and we'll click on login to log in. So this also need to be changed. So all we just need to do is go to resources, views, admin section, header. So inside the header we can repeat this same. I'll just paste it, I already copied it. And this is going to be username, and this is going to be user role. All right, so let's save it and refresh this page to see what we have. Yes, you can see admin user, that's the username here, then the role is admin, so you can see admin. All right, next we are going to add the logout. So to make it very easier for us, we can just copy the logout from the one that we just did, that is the header here. So what we do, we just copy this form completely. So come back to this place, the last item, hit enter here, and here also hit enter. So inside this we now paste this. So now we have everything that we need. So let's arrange this a little bit, therefore it will look fine. All right, so let's press Ctrl+S to save it. I'll go and refresh the page. So click here, you can see also need to add cursor pointer. So what we do is we'll come to the name, that is this place, give you a space, then we'll say cursor pointer. All right, now copy this cursor pointer from here. Here also is going to be the cursor pointer. The picture also, we have to go to the class of the picture and also add it after the rounded full. All right, so that is all. So let's press, now refresh the page and see what we have as the output. You can see this is perfect. When we click on this, we click on logout, we are able to log out. If you try to access admin dashboard, we cannot be able to access it. All right, so see you in the next lecture. Do not forget to leave review for this course. Very nice review.